This week on No Cell Service, our host covered the French absurdist horror comedy, Rubber. This content is intended for mature audiences only. Listener discretion is advised.
Before we get into this movie, if we can call it that, we have updates, announcements, whatever. If this episode comes out afterwards, but we're recording it pre, go watch our live stream we did of Resident Evil. I believe at this point in time we're doing Requiem.
Yes.
So we're going to live stream that. If you guys enjoy it, we might continue to live stream us playing.
Yeah.
I think we've mentioned that on other episodes that we want to start kind of doing that thing. We also have book club at the end of the month. So this episode, I believe, comes out on the 18th. So yes,
Okay.
next week is going to be The Ring. And the Sunday before that, so the 24th, we're going to do a live stream. We might just do it on Discord. We're going to do book club. We're going to try this out. We'll give it a few months for everyone to kind of tune in and figure it out. Me and the missus are going to read the book, The Ring, and we're going to talk about it. Kind of just like this episode, but we're going to do it live.
Yeah.
So tune in for all of our fun things.
Of the freak in, please.
And again, it's after our live stream, but go rewatch it. It'll be posted on YouTube. Go check out our YouTube.
Will be there.
Do you have any other announcements? Oh, go freaking check out our Discord. I'm gonna drop it. I'm gonna start putting our link tree in our description of our episode. Go check out our Discord. We're working really hard on it, guys.
It's pretty bare bones, but what are you gonna do? We got to figure out what you guys want and how we want you guys to be displayed in our Discord and all that. So, but we first need people in there. So join the dark side.
Oh, I also do have to shout out my big brother because he's like, hey, I listened to the Together episode. What the fuck? I recommended these movies to you. Not Together. He did Bring Her Back and the other one.
I thought you mentioned that he did in those
I might have
episodes.
cut it out because sometimes we rant for a while. So I think it got thrown in one of our large rants I had to cut out. So yeah, just shout out to my big brother, who is the whole reason I'm into horror movies.
Hell yeah.
So thank you,
Shout
brother.
out. Thank you, because
He's been listening on YouTube.
yeah, I've been able to watch all these movies, and I've been shown a lot of new movies that I haven't seen that you've been like, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's about that time of the week where I talk about Black Christmas. Just kidding.
Another day we talk about Black Christmas.
But like, dude, I wouldn't have found one of my new all-time favorite horror movies.
I don't know. He has never seen Alien. I just found this out.
Really?
Yeah. And I was like, what? Brother, you
That's
of all
crazy.
people? Yeah.
That is so crazy.
So I'll have to hit him up actually and see if he's watched it yet.
Mm-hmm.
But just so there you go. You got your shout out.
Brandon's been listening to. He was like, I can't remember what episode he was listening to, but he was like, I listened to it on the way to work. I'm like, hell yeah, bro.
Thank you. We appreciate all of our friends who listen.
It's the best. We love you guys.
So,
okay.
Time to get into it. And before we fully get into it, this or 28 Weeks Later?
Like, which one would I rather watch?
Yep. I was thinking about this, and I was like, you know what? I would rather watch 28 Weeks on replay for 24 hours than sit through this movie again.
Yeah,
I ended up putting it on 1.25 speed.
I think it would be more fun to sit there with with anticipation, knowing you get to watch Hawkeye blow up in a car versus... Listen, man.
His name is Robert, by the way.
Robert,
the tire.
Listen, you asked me my thoughts downstairs when you first got here, and I wasn't going to tell you because I needed everyone to know that, well, I told you that I haven't slept for like 5 days, and it's really affecting me. And I woke up this morning, but I was just so like compounded with exhaustion, and I put Rubber on. And it was one of those things where I had to like pause maybe like 2 minutes in and just be like, I don't know if I'm awake enough for this.
So my suggestion, that it's terrible that you're so sleep deprived, but one of my suggestions was, you need to watch this movie drunk. You need to watch this movie high. You need to watch this movie 32 hours sleep deprived, because you cannot watch it sober. You cannot watch it able-minded and sit here.
You can't be sober and alone and just watch this movie. The reason that I was sober and alone and watched this movie
Naked and Afraid.
because
Sober and alone.
well, it's because I watch these movies when I wake up every Saturday before we record, so it's fresh in my mind. That's the only time. Like, I think if you had a group of friends where you were like, listen, do you care what we put on? And they're like, no, because you're just like all drinking and talking. Then you can put this movie on and everyone's probably going to be fine. But like, I knew that I was in for something weird.
I had different expectations for this movie, and that's weird when every horror movie buff, every movie person, if you've seen a movie, you've probably heard an inkling of Rubber, the tire killer movie, right? And you think that, and you're like, oh, yeah, it's going to be a really shitty movie about a tire running around murdering people.
That's
just like
not even
crushing them, right? That's what my thought. I was like, oh, he's just going to run over people.
It's going to be like a, like a made-for-TV movie.
Like it's going to be on the Sci-Fi Channel, and you're just
Yeah.
going to be like, well, this is a shitty movie.
It might, because it originally came out on Netflix, I think. So my thought was like, oh, it's probably going to be like one step above like Velocipaster.
It's a independent movie, actually.
I just know it came out on Netflix.
It was on Netflix for
I
a
think
while.
that's like where everyone even saw it.
Yes.
But it's not.
It's
It's not that. I don't even know how I would explain this. I don't even know what movies I would put this movie next to be like, it's like this.
It's considered this. I had to double check because on IMDb, if you pull it up, horror isn't one of the tags that shows up. And I was like, oh shit, like, do we have to change movies? And to be clear, I think we've mentioned Wikipedia enough. We get all of our tags on what a movie is off of Wikipedia, so they're all the same.
Mm-hmm.
And for this one, it's a French independent absurdist horror comedy. Now, absurdist is the best word to describe this movie.
Yeah.
I would put this in the category of movie 43.
I never saw it.
Also, what's his name? Wolverine.
Hugh Jackman?
Hugh Jackman with balls on his chin is a short in movie 43, where everyone else is like, oh, that's just his face, and he's on a date with his woman, and she's like, does no one else notice the nutsack on his neck? Like, this is just normal? And then, like, they meet a family with a baby, and he's holding the baby, and the nutsack is on the baby's head. Like, just that kind of, like, Rule 43.
But see, that sounds funny.
Rule 43 as a movie is movie 43. That's the whole thing, right? But it's absurd.
Mm-hmm.
That's as close as a category as I can get of just movie 43, just not scary movie-esque. As in, you're not expecting great things when you go see a scary movie. Or scary movie meaning the scary movie franchise, not horror movies. It's dumb. It's supposed to be dumb. It's what's the word? What is it? A parody.
Yeah.
Right? This movie feels like a parody of movies.
This movie feels like the director thought that he was getting away with some really obscure form of comedy that, you hoping that people laugh at it just because it's absurd. Sometimes those things have to make sense. Like the Hugh Jackman with nutsack chin, right? It's funny because they're out on a date and they're in public and she's like, what the fuck? How is no one else noticing? And then like the whole thing with the baby. That's a bit. It's not even like there's bits in this movie. There's just like moments where I don't even know how to fucking describe it. I'm almost at a loss of words. And that could be the sleep deprivation, or it could be the fact that Rubber is just such an enigma.
I think where it lands flat for me, and I going through everything on it, right, is it apparently split the audience at the film fest it went to. Got a lot of laughs, got a lot of boos, like almost dead split. I think if this movie would have leaned into taking itself seriously, it would have been fun.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are shots, like the shower scene, or at the gas station where Robert's outside the window, that if they took this just a little bit more seriously, it would be funny.
Yes.
But it toes the line of not taking itself serious enough, but not leaning into absurdity.
Yeah.
It's in between being not absurd enough and not serious enough for me.
It's like, I don't know if I might have talked about this on the show, but in a lot of good storytelling, you have the the dramatic difference between you either put a normal person in an insane world or you put an insane person in a normal world, right? And like those things, there's a lot of ways to make the character clash with the world around them.
Right.
This is just, it's like he wanted them to be normal people in a crazy world, but it's almost like it's just insane people in an insane world somehow, but it's like a mix.
Yeah.
People. You can't quite tell who's in on it, and so it just gets a little foggy.
In my opinion, if you took out the crowd, I would have liked this movie a lot more.
If it was just Robert,
and we were just following Robert.
And maybe like a main character, like, you know, you follow the protagonist who's getting chased by the killer.
Which is supposed to be Sheila, but
like fucking Jeepers Creepers comes into my mind immediately. No, even though, you know, fuck the director, but like, classic example. You're watching the protagonist get chased by this thing and it's terrifying. And then when the thing ends up to be a tire, that's fucking hilarious. But the way that this movie frames it, maybe we should just get into it.
We need to get into it. I will say, I'm reading this from Wikipedia. This is a direct quote. During the writing process, the tire, Robert, was designed solely as a bad guy with no redeeming qualities. While shooting, however, the director determined that this was the wrong approach, realizing there's nothing evil about a tire.
That doesn't help. I wish I could tell the director himself that doesn't clear up anything.
Robert was reworked as like a stupid dog. Does that help at all? Like, think of Wall-E as a tire. That is literally what this has been switched to, is the tire was supposed to be evil, but instead of being evil...
I can't even make the joke I want to make because it's going to spoil one of the biggest things about this fucking tire.
Yeah. Okay, let's get into it. So, we open on chairs in a desert.
On a desert road.
And then more chairs. And then there's a man standing with a shit ton of binoculars dressed in, like, accountant. His name is the accountant.
Yeah, maybe like 30 pairs of binoculars all, like, hanging from strings.
He's in khakis and a button-down with a tie and looks like an accountant.
Mm-hmm.
And he's looking around, and a car comes down the road.
I'm going to laugh a lot because thinking about it out of context is really, like, a lot of the stuff is funny in my head. I think the way that it's executed in the movie is why I didn't laugh like out loud at all during the movie.
Trying to explain it, it's fucking hilarious.
Exactly. Like, I'm going to be cracking up this episode, but I want you to know, like, don't expect, I mean, you might put it on and laugh your fucking ass off.
It's not our cup of tea.
Maybe it was just because I was so sleep deprived this morning, but like, it just didn't hit the right way. It's hitting now because I think about it. It's just all these chairs on the road and this dude in khakis with all the binoculars and he's doing whatever. And then this car drives up and purposefully starts swerving and hits each chair, but not like fast. Like, it's not like he's like being reckless necessarily.
He's going like 2 miles
he's going
an
like
hour.
2 miles an hour and just like fucking knocking,
purposefully hitting
like
every
swerving
chair.
back and forth. Oh my God. And then it pulls up. The trunk pops open, and then the sheriff gets out.
Lieutenant Chad.
The lieutenant of the police force, because this is a police car, I guess, gets out of the trunk, walks up to the driver's side, and grabs a glass of water.
Yep.
From the driver, and then walks up and starts talking to the camera, essentially being like...
There's no reason for things.
Yeah, there's no reason. Oh God, I can't.
The one that sticks out in my mind, because there was a few of big movies that he mentioned, but it was why in the acclaimed Texas Chainsaw Massacre do we never see the characters go to the bathroom or wash their hands or just act like real people? No reason. And it was like, okay, but there is a reason because it's boring, right? Like, he essentially lists a bunch of things being like, movies have the no reason gap where it's just, don't think about it too hard. There's not a real reason for it. Maybe it was just cool.
I've heard that Hobbs and Shaw is like, that entire movie is just that.
Just no reason.
Yeah. It's just like, oh, now we have to go here to get this antidote for the virus. And then they go and do it. And you're like, what? I don't know. It doesn't matter. We're not talking about Hobbs and Shaw today. My fucking brain's
Another
on one
episode we
today.
talk about Fast and Furious franchise.
I forgot we had a different conversation. Oh,
So
God.
essentially he's saying there's no reason for things and life has no reason, and just all great films have no reason, okay?
Get used to it.
And then the driver honks, tells him it's time to go
He pours the glass of water out on the ground.
for no reason, obviously.
Yeah.
To emphasize the point of no reason.
Yeah. We're not going to explain some of the shit that happens because, again, there is no reason. We're going to be like, and then this happens. And you might be wondering, what? Why?
We don't know.
We don't fucking know.
There's no reason for any of it. There's one point in this movie. You know, I love diving deep and thinking about like things in real situations. There's only one scene that I do this with in this entire movie. My notes, 3 pages. Usually my notes are 5.
This movie's also kind of short.
It's an hour 18.
So this might be a tiny bit shorter episode, but I mean,
we'll see. We love our
The
tangents.
Shining is going to be like 4 hours.
Oh, The Shining one, because we're doing eventually when we do The Shining, we're gonna do The Shining 1 week followed by Doctor Sleep.
Yeah.
So he dumps out the water, hands the cup back to the driver, gets in the trunk, and the shot that like zooms out pretty much, you see a group of people that apparently he was talking to instead of us. There's a crowd now. Okay. The guy with binoculars, the accountant, comes over and hands them out to everyone. Someone says, "We could have sat in those chairs. This kind of sucks now."
Yeah.
He is no tact. He's like, "Shut the fuck up, turn around, go look over there." Like, just kind of dismisses them as much as
look
possible.
over there, it's starting or something like that.
Yeah. And we get, I'm also a person of loving to know characters' names. So that's how I know Lieutenant Chad's name. The accountant is this binocular man. I call him the tie man throughout this entire thing because I didn't know what else to call him, but in the things, it's the accountant. Our main character, right besides Robert the Tire, I would consider to be one of these crowds folk who is the man in the wheelchair, right? His name in the credits, man in wheelchair.
Dope. We'll call him Wheelie.
Wheelie.
Or Wheels. It's up to you.
Whatever
flows out naturally the next time you want to refer to him.
I'm going to run through these real fast.
Okay.
All right. Movie buff Ian. Movie buff Charlie. Cindy. Fiona. Dad. Son. Martina, the cleaning lady. Mr. Hughes. Eric. Zach. Woman. Deputy Xavier. Deputy Luke. Deputy Pete. Deputy Denise. Deputy Doug. Hitchhiker. Tire burner. Robert the Tire is Robert.
That was all the credits?
That's all of the characters that I guess have names. So this entire crowd of people that we see throughout this movie, I am assuming these 2 young ladies who are about to speak next are Cindy and Fiona. That's a huge assumption on my end.
I'm surprised you want to try and attach people to names because I didn't even know that the fucking tire had a name.
I thought that was a fun fact.
Like...
I didn't name them in my notes because I couldn't. There was no way. But going back after watching it and looking at everything, I believe these 2 people are Cindy and Fiona. All of this to say, we have a crowd of people who we see throughout the movie. They say shit. It doesn't really matter. The only one who matters is our wheelchair man, Wheelie, Wheels, old man, whatever guy. They come over asking if it's in color or black and white, or someone asks that. These 2 young ladies shove their way to the front. We get a father who's telling his son to be patient. Then someone not yells at him, but someone's like, "Hey, like, stop recording. That's piracy." And he's like, "Oh, my wife couldn't be here." And they're like, "No, that's like against the law, my guy." And he has like an old school recorder trying to record whatever they're watching.
A little anti-piracy PSA just thrown in there for some reason.
No reason.
Yeah, no reason.
To set the scene, if the chairs in the desert, they are literally in the desert. There's nothing around them. So they get these binoculars. And they're looking out and they're like, "What are we even looking for?" And then one woman is like, "It looks like there's a dump over there." And so everyone with their binoculars looks over to where she was pointing. And it is a dump of some sort. Like, people, not a dump as in like a sanctioned dump, but it looks like where people just toss all of their shit and don't give a fuck about it. And so we get just random stuff like papers and I don't know.
A dump. It's just like shots of a dump in a desert. And then there's a still shot of it's like dusk, right? You know, like
it's pretty early It's early, not dusk, I would say.
Because I was thinking they were all like out there in the afternoon.
Oh,
and then like,
maybe
they're sitting there waiting.
You're
for
right.
something
You're right.
to
Because
happen.
we'll follow Robert into the night. You are correct. We do get the credits, so it's one of those movies that we get the credits first before we get credits at the end too, but we get a bunch of like names and stuff. And Rubber does pop up on screen, and then we zoom in on a half buried tire. Robert, the tire.
It starts shifting a little bit, just kind of like shimmying back and forth through the sand. You get some like close shots of it as the tire's moving, the sand's shifting with it around it. And then it kind of like shifts out of the sand and sits up.
Yeah, so I used roll a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
looks
this way, question mark. Like, there's a front side to Robert.
Yes. Yeah.
It's...
Whatever side you're looking at is probably the side that is the front, because why, unless they're showing him rolling away from you, why would they show you the back?
Yeah, there's a specific scene where Robert does turn around to look for some reason.
I'm laughing, not even... This scene happens later, but I just got a really crisp image in my head. And I'll bring it up when we get to it.
Okay.
But this fucking thing...
It sits up, and it rolls and falls over and rolls and falls over, and it's like watching a baby giraffe learn how to walk, or a very inebriated human trying to walk.
There's something very primal about watching that happen, even to an inanimate object. My paternal instincts were like, "Aw, like it'll get there." And then I realized it's a killer tire.
The music, though, so Robert, falls over, gets back up, and then starts rolling away, and you're like, okay, it's on its feet, it's on its way somewhere, we're gonna watch its life, right? Reminds me of Legend of Zelda.
Yes.
This open song.
There is like an ocarina being played, if not a pan flute. I could guarantee you it's an ocarina. As we watch this thing roll through the desert in like the dusk as the sun is going down, it's a really pretty setting, like the desert out there. It's just we just had to follow a tire.
Yeah.
And the worst of it, we haven't even talked about I shouldn't say the worst of it, because it's not. We'll get there.
Robert comes across a water bottle, rolls on it a little bit, and then rolls off of it, and rolls back on it a little bit, before completely squishing it. And you're like, starting to get a taste for liking the squish stuff here. Because then it comes across a scorpion, and then just straight up squishes it.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of just watch as it's getting a taste for bloodless.
Yeah, you watch this thing just like squish a couple things. And then it gets to a beer bottle, like a glass bottle. And it goes up and it tries to squish it, but it just keeps like pushing against it. And it, the glass bottle kind of like rolls on the sand, it doesn't really break. And so it backs up and it starts vibrating intensely.
Just like quivering.
Like this, shaking. And then this like rising, whining pitch gets louder and louder. And then at the peak of that like psionic noise, the bottle explodes.
Mm-hmm.
And you learn that Robert, the serial killer tire, has psychokinetic abilities,
which we learn from the crowd of people watching. We learn that this crowd of people are watching Robert, and this is why they're here. And so we have a peanut gallery, my guy, watching a movie. We're watching people watch a movie, kind of. And so it cuts, this is what drives me crazy. It cuts to these people throughout the movie, and I wish it just never cut to them ever. And I would like this movie so much more. You could keep the accountant and that whole like subplot. I just don't want these people in it, because it's worse, because I actually enjoy them, from the Muppets. What are their names? The old men.
Oh god.
You know.
Yes.
The old men in the Muppets who are up in the balcony and always criticizing. At least they're funny. These people just like, and the girls yell at them. And they're like, "Can you guys shut up? We're trying to watch."
And they're like, no, we actually can't shut up. Why don't you fucking go somewhere else?
It's like they're talking in a movie theater. It's just, anyways, this is the boy child, and one of the movie buffs fight about whether it's telekinesis or psychokinetic powers and whatever. Yeah, so if you wanted, it's not just going to be squishing people.
No.
Which I thought it was going to be. It's going to be explosions, I guess.
Yeah, because it cuts back to Robert, and he rolls up, and he kind of turns, and he looks over, and there's a rabbit on the ground. And you hear that? No?
No. He comes across a tin can, blows up a tin can.
Oh, that's right. He does.
Rolls up on a tree.
He blows a lot of shit up.
Yeah. He rolls up on a tree and then collapses.
That's right.
He has to, I don't know why we're saying he. I guess it's because they named the tire Robert, which is a stereotypically masculine name. It falls asleep under a tree, quote unquote asleep. I don't know. And the Thai guy, oh no, I'm sorry, collapses for the night. And then a bunch of crows wake up Robert, who starts their journey again. I use they, them pronouns for this tire in my notes. Start their journey in the desert once more. The Thai guy comes to wake up this crowd of people, taking money from some of their pockets and then hitting a bunch of them with his briefcase to wake them up. And then just leaves. He like gets on his bike and leaves. He's just there to wake them up. The kid tries to wake up his dad, who just rolls over and cuddles his binoculars more. No one's got any food. They're all hungry. But they all have sleeping bags, or like some of them have sleeping bags. It's weird.
Yeah. They're just like sleeping out on the ground in the desert.
Which, I don't know if any of y'all have done that. It's gets cold. It gets cold in the desert at night.
Mm-hmm.
Very cold. And they have like child thickness sleeping bags.
Yeah. No, the only reason Phoenix is hot during the night is because the road absorbs all the heat during the day. If there were no roads down here, it would be freezing cold at night.
It's really cold in the desert. This is where Robert comes across a puddle, and he dips in it a little bit, like he's dipping his little toesies.
This is the image that popped in my head.
Of just this thing rolling and dipping its little feetsies.
And slurping up water like a dog.
Oh, I always pictured it like dipping toes, not like slurping.
No, you hear the slurping noise.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
It sits there and drinks the water.
I didn't know that.
You hear like the gulp.
I did not
It's
know
not
that.
loud. It's kind of faint, but like, I watch these movies on my PC in my office, like with my headphones on. And yeah, there's like this, like a little, like a gulp.
No,
because it's literally drinking fucking water.
I did not think that, because yeah, I thought it was like a little kid coming up to a puddle and just like tippy tapping on the edge. That makes more.
Nah, dude, Robert was thirsty.
I was gonna say that makes more sense. That doesn't make any sense, but sure, whatever.
Yeah. Well, and
This
again,
is where-
that image popped in my head, and just like, that's ridiculous, and it's hilarious in theory. But again, watching this movie, I had a resting bitch face the whole time. And maybe it's just because I watched it too early. Maybe I needed to be in the right mood.
I was the same way when I watched it, and I watched half of it last night and finished it this morning.
But like thinking about it.
No, thinking about it and
great.
explaining it to someone, right? Because after I finished the movie, I walked out to the missus and I was like, this is how it ends. And the missus, my mother-in-law, and my grandmother-in-law were like, yeah, sure, why not? That sounds great, amazing, sure. And just like...
Yeah.
We'll get to that. Maybe have some theories on what the hell
I don't even know.
is.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Anyways,
Does
Robert...
this movie have an ending? Is it an ending?
No.
I think it's just like they had to just stop at some point.
And that's what we'll hear from Lieutenant Chad.
Yeah, that's fair.
Robert, this thing. No, Robert, this is a bad move. Robert looks over, and I mean looks over, just swerves over, and there's a bunny. They blow up the bunny.
Yeah.
Bloodlust has completely consumed this tire.
This thing realizes that its psychokinetic powers can be used on just about anything it can set its rubber to.
It just sounds so wrong.
Yeah, I think I need you to go back and just watch the scene where he's drinking the water with headphones on so you can fully understand, like absorb that scene fully.
I'll have to.
Because it hits different. Like I'm thinking about it and I'm just like, I feel like that took a little bit of a toll on me. I'm going to think about a tire drinking water just like at 3 a.m. when I can't sleep. I blame the sleep deprivation.
A lot.
Anyways.
A bunch of happy music, a happy song plays as, when in a movie a kid is happy and they're swerving back and forth on their bicycle. That's what Robert's doing. Robert's doing a little swervy swerve because they're happy they killed something.
Yep.
Finally, they come across the road where a woman is driving down it. This, I believe, is Sheila. This is the only one of our main characters that I can click a name to. Well, I guess I can with Lieutenant Chad as well, but Sheila. Sheila is our final girl, question mark, for lack of a better term.
Final girl?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
The killer likes to kill.
Oh, you mean like the... Okay, yeah.
The trope of a final girl.
I see. I get you.
Yes. Robert's mind powers stops the car.
Yeah.
Instead of blowing it up, it stops. She tries to fuss with it and is like, oh, what the hell is happening? And Robert starts rolling to her. And then behind Robert, there's a truck. And there's a guy driving this truck who is not paying attention. He's fussing with his radio. He's driving super fast. Runs right into Robert.
Sends him flying off on the side of the road, laying there.
And because of that, this man swerves and doesn't run right into Sheila's car.
Yep. And she's able to restart her car with no issue now that Robert's not focusing all of his mental energy on it or whatever.
Yep, so he inadvertently saved this woman from being hit by the truck. The crowd watches this. I call them the crowd, the peanut gallery, whatever you want to call them. These people watch as Robert sets its sights on a crow, but I think it's actually a magpie. There's nothing to deep dive in this movie. However, I looked at this bird and I was like, it sounded like a crow to me. And then I was looking at it and I was like, crows don't have white patterning. So I did a little bit of a dive into birds and I found out I have a favorite bird and it's a grackle.
Grackle?
It's a grackle.
What does it look like?
Like if a crow was a twink.
I love that.
But I think this is a magpie. So I like grackles. Didn't know I would have a favorite bird in my 30s, but apparently I do.
You know, if someone looked at me and said, when you're 30s, you're going to have a favorite bird, I'd probably just be like, yeah, makes sense. I don't have one yet, but I'm not 30 yet.
This reckless truck driver is stopped at a gas station filling up. Sheila drives by, flips him off as she passes. He tries to use a payphone, but it's not working. And this is the scene I was talking about. Where this man gets back in his truck. Robert's rolling up, doing stuff in his truck, right? And where outside the window would be a blurry serial killer, there's blurry Robert. And if this movie took itself seriously, the scene would be just so comedically funny where you're like, oh, yep, there's the tire, it's gonna murder him. But it's not.
Yeah.
And so this is where it misses the mark for me. Again, I just wish it would take itself so seriously that it's funny.
Yeah.
Robert does his does the quiver, and again, it has a sound. So it does the quiver, and then there's a specific music type and Foley sound that happens every time it quivers until the driver's head explodes.
Yep. Pops.
Continues rolling down the road as cops drive to the scene of the crime.
Right past Robert.
Right past Robert.
Because why would they stop for a tire on the road?
Yeah, and I did, they used animatronics for some of it, but it's really hard to hide animatronics in a tire because you can see into a tire.
Yeah.
So
I was wondering how they did some of the shots, because, obviously, they used some clever camera angles to kind of help it, sit up and move around in the beginning, but then there's one scene where he's, rolling, and then he straight up changes directions and starts rolling in a different direction. I was like, whoa, that's cool.
I think, because, they say they use animatronics for it or a remote control. So what I'm thinking is that they laid it on the inside, maybe, and then just did black, a mesh or something on top of it to
100%.
hide it. Mine is the tricycle.
What about the tricycle?
How they did that scene.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's that one, there's, whatever, it doesn't matter. There's this one long shot where you're right behind the tricycle as it's rolling down the road and you can see everything in front of it. And it doesn't look like there's any controls or anything on that. And I assumed it would be fishing line or something pulling it, but you can see directly in front of it. So I wanted to know how they did that one.
Yeah.
Robert takes a pit stop in Easy Rest Inn, which is a rundown motel. The place only has 2 cars in the parking lot. One is Sheila's car. This is the only scene. My suspension of disbelief can only go so far. I can believe in a murderous tire. I cannot believe that a woman traveling by herself, stopping at a shitty motel, would leave the door open while she showered. Not only is her motel room open, the bathroom door is open. That shit is not happening.
Yeah. 100%.
This is the only scene where I was like, no reason for everything. This one, you're wrong.
Yeah.
I'm not going to fight on anything else.
No, that's fair. I totally get it.
But the crowd is like, oh, do you see her ass? Well, she's got a good rack on her.
Yeah.
And obviously it's the see-through shower curtain, and Robert's watching, and if it was a creepy stalker killer man, it'd be a whole like sexualized scene, but it's a tire.
Yeah, but they still made it a sexualized scene by having the crowd
Oh yeah.
just
Joking about him getting a blowjob.
Yeah, and being like, she doesn't have an ass, but she's got a good rack. And the other dude being like, I don't give a shit. It's like, okay.
Yeah. They also
Anyways.
Sheila gets out of the shower, sees the doors open, and shuts it, pushing Robert out of the room. The crowd talks about how they're getting really, really hungry and they're starting to starve, and why does no one have food? Robert gets a room.
He gets the room next to Sheila and starts watching. Is it
Infomercial?
Is this when he's watching soccer? I don't know. He watches a bunch of random shit on TV throughout this movie.
Watches NASCAR at one point, watches a workout video, watches, I think, infomercials.
I think he's watching the workout video.
Watches a nature documentary at one point.
I can't remember. He's watching something on TV.
And it's really
loud.
Poor Sheila cannot sleep. The accountant guy is also in the hotel room. He is, I don't know what, doing with his shoes in the mirror. Just has his shoes on his hands.
Buffing his shoes, and then he, like, puts them on his hands, and then, like, uses them to tap dance with his hands on the counter.
When he gets a call, and he's like, yes, master. No, master. Right away, master. That can happen tonight, master. And you're like, sure. That makes sense. There's some weird guy behind the weird guy watching all of these weird people watch the tire. The camera pans over, and there's just a turkey in his room. And so he has a suitcase full of stuff, and he grabs 2 knives, and then it cuts to outside the hotel room and with killing turkey noises.
Yeah.
In the morning, the accountant...
Again, one of those things we're not going to offer a reason to you because there is no reason. Sometimes with these movies, we can interpolate or, like, you know, put in our 2 cents on what we think, you know, could be the case as far as, like, a story, like, whatever, unfolding. There is specifically no reason for a lot of shit in this. So that's why we're just going to gloss over some of the weird shit. There's a turkey in his room.
There's a turkey in his room, and he slaughters the turkey, and the reason for the turkey slaughter is he's about to go feed the people.
Yeah.
Why he couldn't just buy a turkey? No reason. As he's leaving, he runs into the maid, whose name is Martina. She asks if she can clean his room, and he looks at the room, and is like, I see no reason why not, and leaves. Because he's a weirdo.
Yeah.
Wheelchair Man is already awake when the accountant comes up to wake them. He yells for food, and out of a rucksack drops the turkey into the sand, and the crowd goes ravenous.
Like animalistic, you know, where they're, you know, the dad rolls over and just takes a bite out of the fucking haunch right off the ground. And then, like, they pick it up and start ripping off pieces and just shredding into it like fucking savages.
Have you seen The Croods?
No.
Oh, that is one of my favorite animated movies. There's a scene where they kill a dinosaur that is a giant bird. And they have never had such good food before. They're like a poor caveman family.
Mm-hmm.
It's that. Except more people, because that movie, there's like 5 of them.
Yeah.
But it's literally, that's what I thought of, was like, oh, it's the Croods going after their first dinner in ages. Everyone eats except the wheelchair guy. Someone asks if he's gonna eat, and he's like, fucking dumbasses, and he keeps watching. The maid stops to go into room 16, which Sheila had room 15, so Robert's room is room 16. No one answers. She starts, you know, dusting, straightening up. Goes to strip the bed, and you just see a bunch of tire marks, and she's like, what is happening? And then the shower kicks on, and she goes in, and she's like, hey, like, I'm here to clean the room, like, is anyone there? And okay, I lied, this is the second scene. Could you imagine if a maid just like walked into your bathroom and you didn't respond to her, so she just rips open the shower curtain?
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. I mean, to be fair, I think at that point, and this is just me, and this is the only time I will probably speak like this about this movie. If I was in her position, somebody was staying in the room, you hear the shower turn on, but then like no one calls, my first thought is, oh my God, did someone slip and fall and like, are they unconscious maybe like in the shower? Is that why I'm not getting a response?
That's wild.
But then I wouldn't just like, like throw it open. I'd kind of like maybe peek over the top until I see like,
well, you can do that.
Someone's hair or something. Well, okay, peek around the side until I see a little bit of flesh or some hair or something. And then, but she just kind of like throws it open.
I would knock on the bathroom door and be like, hey, like, I'm sorry, I'm in here. And if I didn't get a response, be like, okay, I'm going to come back later. Sorry, I didn't mean to like disturb you. Because my first thought is either they have really bad social anxiety, which fair, or two, they don't speak my language.
I mean, either way, I'd think if I called out and didn't hear a response, but like sounded like someone was in there, I don't know.
I think I'd just leave.
I don't know. I've seen a lot of bad shit happen, so.
No, I think like in this situation, like there wasn't a thump of anyone falling. Like I think if there was like the thump of someone falling, or if there was something. The way it's presented, I would just feel like I'm intruding on something. Mm-hmm. And so I would leave. But if there was like a thump or like a slip or a yell, I feel like I'd probably be more inclined to help than this situation.
No, and that makes sense. She doesn't hear anything. She just goes into the bathroom, swings open the curtain, and Robert's there.
Showering. Robert is mimicking. Robert saw Sheila shower, so Robert is showering.
Mm-hmm.
It's learning, ?
She picks him up and throws him out into the dirt outside of the room, and it's like fucking kids.
She's a fucking weirdo. She's like, fucking weirdos. Tosses him out, strips the bed, finishes cleaning. There's a different kid, so I don't know this kid's name. Hughes. Mr. Hughes is his dad's name, so this kid is different from the crowd kid. Watches Robert roll up into the doorway and then lock himself in the room and is like, what is happening? He goes to tell his dad, Mr. Hughes, who either owns the motel or is like a keeper of things. He's like fixing a control panel or something, and later we'll see he's talking to a police officer about Martina, so I don't know if he either owns it or just runs it. And it's like, hey, Dad, I think there's a tire and it's alive and it just locked itself in room 16. And his dad's like, you're fucking with me. You're just bored. Don't you have like homework or something to do? No, I'm on holiday. They go back and forth. His dad's an asshole.
Yeah.
Ends up telling him to get his head out of his ass and go get him a pizza. And don't forget the double toppings. On a bike. Have you ever tried to carry a pizza on a bike?
No. Well, maybe.
It's not the greatest.
I've definitely done it. It sucks.
A pizza is just a really hard one because of the like awkwardness of the box. Because like Chinese food or anything in a bag is pretty fine because you can just throw it on the handles and not worry about it. But you can't turn a pizza sideways. You're going to ruin the whole pizza.
Yeah.
So keeping the pizza flat.
That does sound like a nightmare.
He does ask his dad before he leaves. He's like, please just go check in room 16, which he doesn't. In room 16, Robert has killed Martina and her head is exploded. She's on the ground, and this is where he's watching the nature documentary on tortoises.
Yep.
We see Sheila walk by the outside window, or like the window that leads into the parking lot. Robert obviously follows her to the pool, where there's also like, I think this is Mr. Hughes watching, because we get this like one cut of a guy just existing out there as well. Before it cuts back to Sheila getting out of the pool and like getting most of her clothes on and wrapping a towel around herself and leaving. Robert goes up to the pool and like
falls in,
throws himself in pretty much and sinks.
Mm-hmm.
The crowd has a whole discussion about whether or not the tire would float or not. And they're like, no, an inner tube floats, a tire sinks, and they talk about the physics of all of this. And the kid is complaining about a stomach ache, and the dad's like, you just ate too fast, like you're gonna be fine. He asks for a doctor, and that dad's like, does anyone here know anything about medical care? It's just the weirdest way to word it. The rest of the crowd start getting really bad stomach pains, and wheelchair man Wheels is like, y'all got poisoned, idiots.
Yeah.
And he's watching as the kid picks up the pizza. This scene...
No, this is... This is, it's not the crowd or the wheelchair dude. It's just a different dude. He's like running down the road who sees the kid put the stuff on the pizza.
Yeah, but the the wheelchair man is watching in the binoculars. He's watching all of this happen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry, that's what I meant. Is Wheels is watching as the kid picks up the pizza. And what I was gonna say is there's a hitchhiker for no reason.
Okay, yeah, sorry. My fucking brain's shutting down.
You're fine. I don't know, because the hitchhiker's not even...
He doesn't matter. I think he's only in there for that scene.
He is. And I was like, oh, maybe it's the director just doing a weird cameo. It's not the director.
It's just a dude being a witness to, like, a nothing burger of a scene.
He's a French musician and graphic designer, whoever this hitchhiker is. But yeah, the kid rolls past this hitchhiker and then sees the exploded bird and then picks up bird guts and sticks it on half the pizza saying, here's your double toppings, asshole.
And the hitchhiker just stares in disbelief of like, what the fuck? That's the whole scene.
That's it.
The kid puts nasty dead bird on the pizza and a hitchhiker witnesses it and go. This is the only time you see the hitchhiker.
He doesn't matter.
None of this matters.
None of this matters.
I guess in the grand scheme of things, yeah, this whole fucking movie doesn't matter.
It's a nothing tire.
It is, yeah. I mean, Jesus Christ.
The kid stops by room 16 before he goes to give his dad the pizza and finds the maid's head exploded. And the cops are called and Sheila's in the diner and she tries to leave the diner and the door falls off. The kid tells the cops about the tire moving on its own and how it's alive. And then the dad and cop and kid all fight about not joking about murder scenes and how tires can't be alive. And the dad gets kind of physical with the kid and tells him to leave because you're pissing me off. But then he makes the kid get Robert out of the pool and the kid walks in fully clothed to then drag Robert out of the pool.
Meanwhile, the dad's eating the pizza.
Yeah, he's doing that.
Doesn't even say anything about it. That's the other thing. Is if the dad maybe like looked at the pizza and was like, what the fuck? Then it'd be like, okay, we had the establishing shot of like, we need to know why he was freaking out about the pizza. He doesn't react to the pizza. You're just sitting there watching him eat it, knowing that the kid fucked with it. Again, I'm sorry. It just reinforces the fact that that scene had more so nothing to do with shit than anything else in the rest of the movie.
Yep.
Which is fine, I guess.
The cop he's talking to is Lieutenant Chad, and if you didn't make those connections, he does say, isn't it weird that we can't see air? Which we didn't mention about, but that's something in the whole speech we got at the beginning of the movie of, there's nothing. There's no reason for things, and one of the no reasons was we can't see air. And so Lieutenant Chad brings it up again, and Mr. Hughes is like, what? Lieutenant Chad's watch chimes. He looks at it, says, it's been 6 hours. The spectators are dead. You're good to go. Thanks.
We're done.
Walks away. And Mr. Hughes is just standing there dumbfounded as this guy walks away. The whole crowd has collapsed and are presumed dead, except the wheelchair guy. The lieutenant calls the rest of the cops to huddle, like EMTs, cops, they all huddle around together, and he says, okay, good show. We're all ready to go home. There's nothing to see here, nothing to do. And they push back because...
They're like, what are you talking about? We're at an active crime scene investigation. He's like, you don't understand.
None of this is real.
None of it's real.
You can go back to your homes and your families and your lives. None of this is real. And they push back. Denise pushes back about, we have a corpse here. And he's like, no, it's fine. Then another cop pushes back and Lieutenant Chad points and says, you have a stuffed crocodile under your arm, which is nothing.
Yeah.
And then he asks Denise to pull her gun and she won't. So he goes to Deputy Doug, who pulls his gun and shoots Lieutenant Chad twice, who pokes at the...
Okay, sorry about that.
No.
That was like mid conversation, so...
Yep. Well, oh yeah. So, Lieutenant gets shot by Doug, Deputy Doug.
Yes.
Gets 2 shots, pokes at him, and is like, I don't feel anything. This isn't real. Go home. And some of the cops disperse except Denise, who is staring at him, looks down at the body and says, we still have a real corpse over here. He says, oh, just slap her around. She'll wake up. Denise unzips the body bag, does a ha-ha she doesn't have a head. What do you mean slap her?
Yeah,
And
like it's a bona fide corpse, bro.
it's cold. And he looks around, and then the accountant appears and whispers, Not all of the participants are dead. The man in the wheelchair is still alive. You have to keep going." And he's just like, he just looks at Denise and he says, "How cold is the corpse?" "Okay, forget everything I said. Let's go." And
Yeah.
so he then goes back to Hughes to have he's like, disregard. What was I saying about your relationship with Martina? How did you like her work? What about this? And they end up talking about her obese brother. And Robert comes out of nowhere, explodes Hughes's head, leaves Lieutenant alone. And Lieutenant pulls out a piece of paper from his pocket and reads it, which says, "Oh my god, the killer is actually a tire. The kid is correct." In like this flat voice.
Yeah. That one kind of just went over my head.
Which part?
Like, I watched it happen, but it just like, I think because so many things in this movie happened that you just have to brush off and ignore, that my brain did it automatically and didn't even register that like they were trying to be like, oh haha.
So what we can gather, and we said this at the top, there is a quote-unquote ending. This was supposed to be the ending. The all of the spectators were supposed to die, which would then trigger the end of the quote-unquote film, and everyone goes back to their real lives. However, because Wheelchair Man decided, I know that's poisoned, and I want to keep watching, it didn't end, so everyone was still stuck in movie state, as much as I can tell is what's happening. And that's why Lieutenant Chad pulled out the piece of paper. It was the script for his lines. And it goes from this to Robert checking themselves out in some reflective surface by the trash can. Yeah. And it flashes from Robert like turning this way and that, understanding they're a tire. Because it's that and then what Sheila looks like. So Robert's becoming self-aware that they're not a person. Yeah. And then there's the kid is just sitting behind Robert and startles it, drinking a Mountain Dew, and says something about what does he say?
I don't even remember.
I didn't write it down either. He asks Robert like, "Why are you doing this?" or something, and throws the can at Robert, saying, "You're in really big trouble with the cops. Do you even know what that means?" Oh, he's asking if Robert can speak English, that kind of stuff. Spooks Robert. Robert runs away. Chad de-rims a tire with a crowbar. Yeah. And drops it in front of the crews, saying, "This is what your suspect looks like. Go find him." And they ask questions. They're like, what brand of tire? And he just, probably brandless. Is he black? Yeah. Or is it black? I can't remember the exact phrase. And you're just like...
I think they do say, is he black?
Lieutenant Chad also says something. Oh, they ask if the tire is worn at all. And it's this whole thing. And the kid comes up to tell the cops that Robert has escaped down the road, and the accountant brings... Oh, yeah. Robert has escaped down the road. Cuts to the quote-unquote crowd, where the crowd has been viewing. The accountant is bringing a table with a tablecloth and those... What are those things called? The plate covers? Like the silver plate things? You put them over plates to then, like, reveal how cool the food is.
I want to say a cloche, but that doesn't... I feel like that's for smaller things.
I thought that was a clam name, so, well.
I thought they were just called clams. Yeah.
Whatever, those silver server platter thingies, they do, whatever this man is serving does sound really good. Like, one thing has, like, a bed of asparagus and some chicken, and we don't really get to see the meal. These two really extravagant, like, entrees, and this guy's like, I'm not hungry. You're being obnoxious. Let me just watch. Yeah. The dessert is just eclairs. just like the frozen eclairs you can get at like Sam's Club
Yeah.
on a plate, which I thought was wild to have these like super course meals and then have these plated eclairs. He says, Wheelies just says he just wants to watch the movie, watch in peace. And I believe the accountant says there is no ending. Like, there's nothing to finish. And Wheel says, I want to watch anyways. He gives the accountant the binoculars to watch as well. So now they both are kind of watching what's going on. The cops catch up to Robert and stop right behind him. And this is where the move happens, where he's facing one direction and then 180s to face the cops.
It's just a tire spinning 180 degrees.
Yep.
Like, it's not. It
doesn't make sense.
It's just so. Oh my god. Oh, again, it's like, it's so much. I'm glad that I watched it because I can laugh at it in my brain. But I was just sitting there watching it at the time being like, just another movie for the podcast, I guess.
I got 20 minutes in and almost texted you, can we not? But we talked about this when we started it. We are going to do the good, the bad, and what we love. And this is definitely the bad.
You know what? But we're doing the contrast of the bad right now, right before we get to some of the really good that we've been wanting to do. Cube, is that it?
Oh, Cube is on the list.
That's coming up. Because I got the Google Calendar. I figured it out with all my stuff. So I was looking at it. We got that. We got The Shining, Doctor Sleep.
The Ring. I'm always excited for The Ring.
So, like, and we've also had some really good ones recently, too. Yeah. And this will probably get overshadowed by some of the other good things that we're doing in the future. But, I mean, this movie deserves as much recognition as... I wouldn't put it in historic movies, but I'd say if you're a horror fan...
Look, man, if you want the Cliff Notes so you don't have to watch it, this is why we're here.
Yeah.
Because for all intents and purposes, this is a movie that is tossed around in horror movie circles as, oh yeah, the fucking tire movie. So if you don't want to watch it, which I recommend you don't, just listen to this episode.
From our conversation on this podcast, there's not a ton that you'd really miss by just listening to us versus like going to watch it, because you're gonna listen to this and then go watch it and be like, oh yeah, that's what happened. Okay. And yep.
The only thing you really miss is dialogue, and the dialogue is nothing. Some
of it's a little drawn out for no reason, like the conversation between the lieutenant and everyone about it being over just feels a little long. And to be fair, this scene specifically is where you should pay attention because it's the only reason the second half of the movie exists.
And by second half, I have 3 paragraphs of the second half of the movie.
Yeah, it's not much. This is a short movie. Thank God.
Yeah. One telekinetic brain explosion on the driver later, and the accountant is eating food while talking to the wheelchair guy about his life and how his dad was really poor but wanted to take him on vacation and took him up to the mountains in the middle of winter, but they didn't have shoes and they didn't have money, so the only thing they could do instead of skiing was wander around. And then something happened and his brother fell into like a pit or a ravine or something and was screaming for help, and he was sick of hearing it, so he smashed his brother's head in with a rock because that's the only way he would stop screaming. He doesn't really know why he did it. As he's eating all of the food that we know is poisoned, and he says something of, this food was meant for you. And then it like grabs the eclairs or something.
Yeah.
This is the scene where I was like, this is the most drawn out, just die already. Because he is poisoned, and with the other poisoning victims, they had stomach aches. We watch this entire scene of this man of Over the Hedge. Have you seen Over the Hedge?
Yes.
The possums dying, where they're like, oh, rosebuds, the light.
Oh, God, I gotta watch that movie.
I love Over the Hedge. One of my favorites. Avril Lavigne. Voice acts in it.
Bruce Willis. Yeah.
Anyways,
sorry.
Robert stumbles upon a fire and rolls towards it, and we get a little text that says 3 days later, and a bloody phone booth, and a dead kid in a convenience store, and a... Wait.
Doesn't he go, like, see what the fire is?
Yeah, I skipped over the fire. There's a tire fire. He watches a bunch of people. He watches 2 men burning a bunch of tires.
Yeah.
And then we get the 3 days later, and then you're seeing dead bodies and bloody things, and he's rolling down the street.
Robert's pissed.
He's has now seen the worst in humanity and has decided that every human must die.
Welcome to the club. Just kidding. I don't think every human deserves to die. I just think a lot of humans out there don't deserve driver's licenses or children.
I just think for driver's license that we should retake that test every so often.
I just think, if I could give my life to just instill a little bit of sensibility and better morals into everyone on this earth, I'd do it.
I just think everyone needs to be a little bit more compassionate and realize that your vehicle can kill people. Stop being an idiot. The next time we find Robert, they're in a lazy boy watching NASCAR.
Yeah.
Denise and another deputy find him.
Yeah, they're like sneaking around. Sneaking, I guess. They're
moseying
around, looking around, and the dude goes into this house, whatever
just
it is.
Walks up to a house and looks in the window and sees Robert.
Sees Robert in the living room watching NASCAR, as he should be.
What else is a tire to do?
Well, to be honest, it threw me off when he was watching fitness videos at first. But then when he started watching racing, I was like, okay, there we go.
I think Robert was having a bit of an existential crisis of seeing humans and being like, oh, I'm a human. And
Trying
then
to
having
figure
to
out what he is, maybe. Am I a turtle? Am I a fitness dancer? Oh, wait, I'm a tire.
I'm a tire. And this is what tires do, is we race.
And blow things up with their minds.
Obviously, yes. They call in the rest of the crew where Lieutenant Chad is playing chess very poorly with a different deputy and does a totally illegal move. The owner of the house is dead on the floor, obviously. We get a shot of Sheila from behind, who is getting fitted with a bomb. Obviously, Sheila has to deal with Robert because she's our final girl. Only to find out that Sheila's actually in this black van across the way with Lieutenant Chad, and it's not even a body double, it's just a mannequin that has a speaker hanging around its neck, where the real Sheila is talking into it, and the script is really bad, and Sheila calls out the script of what she's saying, is like, who wrote this? Because it's awful, and it was Lieutenant Chad, who then takes over, or Robert rolls out and is looking at Sheila, and the plan is that Robert blows up the fake Sheila, sets off the bomb, kills themselves. Death by cop, I guess, instead of anything else. And as this is happening, Chad says Sheila's not doing it right, so he takes over, and then Robert gets confused because what? And so Sheila has to take back over. Then something hits the van, and it's our wheelman, who says, hey, not to barge in here or anything, but what is happening?
Yeah.
Why is it taking so long? You guys need to speed up the action. Why the dummy? And then they explain the whole plan. He's like, why didn't you just ice him?
Yeah. He's like, if it were me, now hear me out. I whip out a bazooka, and he's like, no, wait, even better. You bring out a flamethrower and just torch the son of a bitch to the ground. I don't even remember their response. This is so. This whole scene is just a cloudy mess in my mind because by the end of it, I was like, "What?"
Lieutenant Chad says, "We will take your feedback into consideration and speed up the action. Thank you. You can go back to your perch." Something along those lines. So he wheels over to the side and watches it happen. Robert bites. Finally blows up Sheila's head, but it doesn't set off the bomb. Goes back inside. Lieutenant Chad comes out of the van with a shotgun, cocks it, and said, this is going to be your action. Goes in there, just shoots Robert enough that when he comes out, it's a shot up tire, drops it in front of Wheels, and says, there you go, there's the end of the movie, and he's not happy about it. Says something, but the cops drive off, and then dun dun dun, out from the house rolls a tricycle. And like Wheels says, he's been reincarnated as a tricycle. And then he looks over at the tricycle. Sorry, man, like, I'm not a part of this. Like, I'm not an actor. I'm just here to spectate. He gets blown up by Robert. Tricycle Robert. So, Robert rolls away as a trike.
Yeah, he starts rolling down the road. And as he's rolling, suddenly a tire pops up from the side of the road and starts rolling behind him, following him.
And then another tire.
And then another one.
And then another.
And then before you know it, Tricycle Robert...
He has a horde.
He's got a horde of tires.
And they end up in Hollywood. Or outside of the Hollywood Hills looking at the Hollywood sign.
And that's it.
It ends. And this...
That's it.
The point of Robert turning into a trike to them getting to Hollywood is so long. It's such a long scene of him just rolling.
Yeah. If you're asking yourself, wait, that's the end of the episode? That felt a little anticlimactic. Yeah, that's how we felt when we finished this movie. It's like an hour and 18 minutes long.
This movie has an average rating of 6.10 out of 10 on Rotten Tomatoes.
6.10 out of 10? Or you mean 6 point...
It's technically 6.1 out of 10.
6.1 out of 100? Are you sure you're not reading that correctly?
It's got a 69% rating.
69.
Nice.
I've watched movies that Rotten Tomatoes have given like a 30. And I've been like, that's pretty fucking good. I don't think I can. I just don't trust fucking reviewers anymore. That's my problem. I trust the everyday man's opinion. You know, I'm one of those people where I'll Google something and then add the word Reddit at the end just because I'd rather see what the people say versus what Google or some fucking dude at a fucking, you know, corporate job at a desk is sitting there writing up an article for fucking BuzzFeed being like 20 ways to you can eat my shit.
Yeah, no, the amount of times I write Reddit after a search.
It's the best.
But yeah, no, don't watch this. No. Unless you're highly inebriated.
Out of all the movies we've recorded podcast episodes for, this is not one that I would shout at you to go watch. You know, Barbarian, Weapons, Bring Her Back, Together, even though that fucking lives in my head rent free. Those movies.
Black Christmas.
You know what? I jumped out of my chair being like, go fucking watch these movies.
The other one too, Steel Trap.
We
don't know why, but that movie lives rent free in our fucking heads.
So much better than Rubber.
And it's not great.
And it's not even an A tier. I'd say that you could struggle to call it a B tier. It's not amazing, but it's better than Rubber.
It's better than this. And that's not saying the cinematography is bad.
No, honestly, the cinematography is what I enjoyed best because you get a lot of really beautiful shots of the desert landscape and the lighting is really good. Like the evening dusk scenes are really moody because you have that orange from the sky and then that like bluish purple on like the desert, you know, it's like, it's perfect, but it's a movie about a tire blowing up things with its mind. So what the fuck do you want from me?
So now you can say you watched it, or now you can say you have cliff notes. I'm giving you permission to use listening to this episode as you've watched this movie. Because you can go talk to someone. You can go talk to someone about this movie and know what they're talking about. By just listening to us. This. You didn't miss much. And now you get to go look up what a grackle looks like. Look at a twink crow.
Go look at a grackle, because that's what I'm going to do. And go watch a better horror movie.
Go watch our VOD of streaming Resident Evil.
Yeah, go watch us play Resident Evil Requiem, because that's just wild. I can't wait for you to get a little taste tomorrow.
I know, it's going to be exciting. It's my first time playing
it. Yeah. All right.
Don't add this to the list.
No, keep it off the list.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode. Follow our Instagram and threads at No Self Service Pod. Until next time.